let's move on to the next presentation, which will be given in English. Well, you can read the German title, Verschiedene Zementierungstechniken bei Öl- und Gasbohrungen und Geothermiebohrungen. The presentation will be given by Yasha Yadigarov from Deutex. And yeah, he was trained as a civil engineer at Baku, Azerbaijan. And then immediately hired by Schlumberger as district technical engineer. He was responsible not for the Caucasus, but for Germany and Austria. And I think this was the time when he learned German. And then he moved after 2009, or in 2009, he moved to Fangman. So we had Dr. Lummer already presenting for Fangman Energy. And since 2017, he is managing director of Deutex. So.
Oh, yeah, good afternoon. We are the two of us left for this conference, and I'm very thankful to the people who live here, and hopefully it will be something interesting to you. The topic of well integrity, the topic I was presenting whole last year in a few occasions, and I will pull it through this 2019. I'm presenting it here, I'm presenting it in 2 months also in Cere, and we'll see who will be inviting you next. Feel free to ask in German, auf Deutsch, wenn Sie wollen, können Sie auch fragen. But that was a little difficult for me to read English and to translate in German, and that's why I said, okay, we'll do it in English. And I'll kick on and just to next one, yeah. Few words about who we are, who I am. I have started in 90 years ago in Baku, in Caspian, with Schlumberger, then did some few years there, moved to training center, did some teaching in England, and God said you have to go to Germany. I went to Germany and I stayed in Germany, and there I learned the language. So the company we started in 2017, and it's 1.5 years. We are now in Germany, small startup company. We're in Germany, and since 1 month we have opened an office in western Ukraine. At the moment it's one of the region picking up. So, and we do have a small but safe team in Ukraine and doing some acidizing jobs, doing some cementing jobs. We have 2 coiled tubing units there, and supplying them with coiled tubing equipment and so on. And of course a full range of all around the stimulation, acidizing, everything about cementing and tools for the same industry. For oil and gas, mainly in oil and gas. It's a shame, but it's at the moment we are still 100% in oil and gas industry. And about cementing stimulation, you can read what we do. We do pretty much everything in the back office, but we don't have ourselves heavy artillery. We don't have units, pump trucks, coiled tubing, but we do have prepare just to cast for the customer to get it easy on board. Right? So the topic I have started in the middle of last year. Last year I presented it. I've seen it. People liked it, and I moved on with this one. The topic, the presentation, well integrity, to bring some oil field experience down or up to geothermal industry, to get people awareness high, get people to realize what they go and buy to supermarket for privately for themselves. They look at the best one, the best quality and the best price. In the region, Western Europe, I'm 12 years, done cementing jobs, acidizing jobs in all these countries in Western Europe. I've seen a proposal, a request for tender for geothermal and request for tender for oil and gas, and this one is 100 times heavier, oil and gas. In geothermal come one page, 1.6, 1.9 kilogram per liter cement, 100 cubes. That's it. That's a geothermal, typical geothermal request. Nobody really put into knowledge into it, what they need, what they pay money for, and what the well needs, and so on. So this is really a time and place to learn, to take it from oil and gas people, purchasers, engineers in office, and take it in geothermal. You buy in a supermarket the best, and you want to pay for that the least. This is normal approach. And in geothermal, it doesn't really at the moment work. Nobody really look what they're paying for and what they really need. This is very important. So I will talk just through the properties of cement, the key property of cement. I will see what they do, what they like in oil and gas, and what you probably should take a focus on in geothermal. Next time when you call for a cementing person, cementing engineer in charge, you will know to focus on few parameters, not on zero parameters, but few and not on all parameters. So you will have an idea what is maybe important for your project. Just a very brief overlook. For some of you it will be a small refreshing course, training course. For some of you it will be maybe too simple, but let's see how it goes. So oil and gas is pretty fresh compared to geothermal. So if we do have 150 years in oil field, we have 1,000 years maybe in geothermal. But the geothermal economical came to an economical level for the last 20-25 years. So the guys who started the geothermal business are the banks, the insurance company, municipality, schools. Whereas the oil and gas, it's booming, its money is there, they have a budget, they can invest into research. So why not just to pick something which is laying on the ground, which is free, public, and take it to geothermal until geothermal will get to the level where they can invest a lot into these researches. So the sack of money is much bigger, much with higher volume on the other side, on oil and gas. It's normal, it's a fact, and we have to live with it. So what I will be focusing at, two things. There is a oil and gas, and geothermal. We have split it into the geothermal, which producing heat for municipality, and geothermal is producing power. If we look into the well, typical well, normally the deeper you go, the more heat you will get, you will face it. So if the same thing, if we talk about same in oil and gas, the deeper you go, it's either oil, and you go deeper, it will be gas. So if we simply look and we can compare geothermal heat projects with an oil and gas, 2,000 meters, normal geothermal gradient will be 3 degrees per 100, normal. And you can say, yeah, oil and gas experience, I will knock the door of the BP, Exxon, Shell, give me all your oil and gas wells information to 2,000 meters, 80 degrees, 70 degrees, 100 degrees, probably will go to geothermal for power, and you knock the guy in western Ukraine for ExxonMobil in North Germany, and they have plenty of information about gas well cementation, gas wells, well integrity. And then you can compare them with geothermal projects to produce a power where you have 110 plus degrees. So this is just the basic. You have to know which door to knock, whom to ask. And typically the well you place, it will be cemented, it will be drilled cemented. It can be acid stimulated, frac stimulated, perforated, and 10 years later it can be completion change and so on. So this you have to predict, you have to foresee what will be happening the well, how strong should be all these components of the well, including the cement sheet behind. So this has to be prognosed as accurate as possible. It can be expensive if you invest too much at the beginning. It can be expensive if you don't invest at the beginning. So we split in this way, compare oil and gas with project for heat, and oil and gas and gas wells with a project for power. There is a cement you have to consider in two states. When you pump it, it's liquid. When you leave it for a few hours alone, it will get hard. So there will be some threshold to compare. It is a liquid slurry, just freshly mixed slurry. There is a few parameters. And there is a next morning it will be hard. You can call it cement stone, cement rock, cement, and there is a few parameters to compare for the plant cementing job, for the plant cementing cement sheet, well integrity. So we'll go one by one. There are 12. I should manage to finish in time. Cement type. This is map of Germany, and it's public, and you can have it online which cement factories existing. You can go in France. There is a similar map exists. Austria, Netherlands. I think every country will have a similar map. At least I know a few of them. So you say, we need a cement job. Which cement to choose? You are the guy who is paying the money, right? You can choose. You can order the cement you want, but you need to know what to order. Look, we're cementing in Munich, somewhere here, Munich, and today the company who will be cementing geothermal well for power. They need a cement for high temperature. They would bring a cement here from this point called Lengerich. All other cements either not evaluated, or there is no time or money to evaluate other cements are applicable or not. Look, we are driving cement through entire Germany, 600 kilometers. If it is €1 here, when it comes here, it is €2. For people who like this euro comparison. So thinking which cement around here, maybe it should not come from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, other direction. From Wien, behind the Wien there is also cement factory. This evaluation at the moment today nobody does. It's easier probably not to waste the time and call cement from Lengerich, from Dijkerhof. Perfect cement, I agree, but nobody looking to behind it. Is there a plan B? Last quarter of 2018 was a big problem with corrosion inhibitor in industry, and everybody was waiting for corrosion inhibitor from one supplier. And some operation delayed, some operation shut down because there was no plan B. So similar, if tomorrow Lengerich will do something wrong, there is no plan B for this type of cement. But somebody has to sit down, evaluate what else possible, how to make a cost-effective solution. While Munich will not take cement from a plant from Rodolph. Why not? Just to justify it. We move on. Oil and gas, oil wells, and geothermal wells for heat. Honestly saying, 80% of all these factors would pass, would work. But you need to adjust, you need to evaluate it. There is no temperature, there is no gas. Most of those cements would pass until maybe 1,000 meter cementation, first 2 cement jobs. Still, you can save a lot of money if you think there is a cement next door. Let's invest 2 hours asking them, would your cement fit for purpose or not? Not just by default bring cement from north. Local cement density needs to be just good to pump mud out, to displace mud. Well, we talk about gas wells and we talk about geothermal wells to produce the power. Then we talk about high temperature, 110 degrees plus. Then yes, you have to add special component to make this heat temperature resistant. At the moment, this cement comes from Lengerich. It's good. There is no alternative at the moment for that in initial stage. But somebody has to say, well, what is the alternative? Maybe we'll do this blend mixture ourselves. Down in Munich, Strasbourg, Amsterdam, and so on. Answer is this one. Need to be added silica. Lengerich does it themselves, but there is also possibilities, right? thickening time, pumping time. Cement has to be liquid. We pump it with piston pumps, with plunger pumps. We bring it down to the well, down to the. It make it U-turn here and goes. It has to be liquid. If it's not jelly, we cannot pump it. This to be considered. How important is it for geothermal wells? Typically, there is no gas. There is no lot of problems with these wells. The service company puts a lot of safety in it. So if the job will last 2 hours, you need 2 hours to plan for liquid time. Typically 5, 6, 8 hours is inside. So this is, I do mark this and further one with stars. If it starts is transparent, it's important factor. If it starts is gold, it's very important. So we will summarize, you will see important and very important. Yeah, it has to give us enough time to place cement and not much. In comparison with gas wells, geothermal wells for power, the more heat, the polymers will start to settle down. You have to worry about how about the polymers will they handle cement, will it settle. You have to think which correct retarding additive, chemical responsible for retardation of the cement, which correct retarder to choose. There is a strange temperature window between 90 and 120 degrees. The low, medium temperature retarders are not good anymore, and high temperature retarders they're not activated yet. So this temperature is not good for cementation. Here, one has to be very careful. Needs to be a very good solution. So again, low side retarders are not good anymore. High side retarders they're not activated. They're not working yet. So this 90, 120 degrees to be careful. On viscosity or rheology, in our words, we need to think about viscosity, friction to pumping forces, to pumping energy pressure, and to bring the slurry down fluid down in the well. Low viscosity will give us a chance of settling out the particles. We will damage the reservoir. We will have bad properties of the cement. It will set faster. The high friction, high viscosity will mean you have to, instead of one pump truck, you may have 2 pump trucks. You can have fracking of your well. You can have a weak link of your casing hardware somewhere damaged. So this equilibrium has to be found, and most of the time it will be simulated with software. In oil and gas wells, and oil wells and the heat projects, it's important. But much more important it will be when the temperature rises. When the temperature rises, you have to know what type of polymers we have. Do we have a bentonite, or we have some high-tech polymers in it? Will it viscosify with temperature, or we will degrade with viscosity with temperature? This is to be evaluated, and yes, for high temperature it becomes really, really important. Fluid loss. On the schematic, I just wanted to have a feeling what is fluid loss. It's not loss circulation, it's not free water, it's fluid loss. Under the pressure, hydrostatic pressure, and if we do have a porous formation. So 2 things, hydrostatic pressure and porous formation. If we do have it, then we have a chance of fluid loss, right? So this portion of liquid will come out of cement fluid, cement slurry, and will escape into this porous formation, in this sponge, in this porous formation. If we do have these 2 together, then we have a problem that cement will change its internal properties. Rheology, thickening time, setting time, hardness, and so on. Most of the geothermal wells are porous, and this is good, right? There is a porosity, this is good. So if you do have porosity, you know you will have a fluid loss. So don't need to put extra money into the system which will have a fluid loss. Evaluate what you really need it or you don't need it. It is a nice, expensive product which can make a nice money and nice costs. So most of you will never need a fluid loss particle. This is as a general talk. If you have a unique cases, then service company has to justify the need of fluid loss. I marked it as a transparent stars. To my point of view, geothermal projects as a beginning, as for start, they don't need fluid loss. If the fluid loss is really needed, then one has to justify a requirement for fluid loss. Free fluid, it's again, if we have a deviation, we will have some fluid separation and staying on the high side. If it's a long channel, if the cement is hard and this is long channel, we may have here gas migration, losses, heat exchange. We have even worse, if this fluid will evaporate and increase in the volume, in a few years' time, we will have a underground explosion, and this pressure will collapse your casing. So free fluid, 0, 0, no free fluid. We should not have a free fluid in any of those wells. Free fluid is very dangerous for the well life. It's very dangerous. Yeah, I make it even, it's very dangerous, no free fluid, as low as possible. Stability with cement, with temperature, stability is important. Temperature will kill the polymers, temperature will force cement particle to settle out. So yes, we need stability for high temperature. We need to think about, to take care of it. I have an indicator of time, so I will move relatively a bit faster. Compressed strength, cement is hard. Compressed strength, do we need to think about it for wells where we have oil wells, heat wells? Any 500 psi, 1000 psi is enough to support a casing. We don't need really high compressed strength. Typical compressed strength for typical cement is 2000 psi and above. So no need to pay extra money. Whereas for the geothermal well power gas wells, the temperature is high, temperature 110 degrees, we have to add silica. Temperature will kill a typical portlandite with a lot of calcium inside. So if we do have, if we need a good cement in 20 years, we have to add a quartz, silica. Yeah? Sometimes it's slow. The thermal conductivity, star, gold star and gold star. You drill for heat, you want the heat produced by this well and brought to the surface. You have to, not a single degree has to be lost in this time when the water going from a casing shoe to the Christmas tree. This has to be ideally zero loss. So thermal conductivity is important. You have to measure it, you have to see literatures, and involve these materials which will hold the temperature, will be insulating. You have to insulate your well, and this temperature will come to the surface. Use whatever possible as much as your budget allows. Foam cementing, light particles additives, even low density cement is better as a high density cement in that term, but it is less conductive. And one more. Yeah, somebody's not talking to me. Yeah, flexibility. Most of the time, no, you don't need a flexible agent for geothermal wells unless you plan for fracturing, unless you plan for high temperature, high pressure acidizing, unless you will be doing something with pressure increase. So normally your casing will do this. If you put pressure, release pressure. If you start producing cold water, your casing will be shrinking. So you have to think what will happen with casing. Will it shrink? Will the balloon expand? Here, no worries. Most of the time, no worries. Here, you have to worry about it. What will happen with my cement behind it? Typical cement are that's not flexible. Metal casing will be like airplane. It will be ballooning, contracting. Cement, once you broke it, it will stay. And forget about the money you paid for that. Expansion, most of the cements will contract. So if you think that the expansion of 2-3% typical expansion will harm integrity of your well, then put some expansion material. They are not expensive. Sorry. Expansion material typically not expensive. It can be just a heavy salt, heavy brines. It can be calcium oxide, magnesium oxide. So they are not expensive, but very useful. Even though you don't have a contraction, shrinkage, this particle will improve your cement slurry. They're not expensive. Again, they may be adding 1% of cementing cost. They're not expensive. Just you have to ask the engineering services. Self-healing, nice thing for oil and gas, for gas especially, for hydrocarbon. Here, when we pump water, most of the time it's salt water. And today, all this expansion, most of the expansion materials are freshwater expanders, hydrocarbon expanders, but you pump a brine, salt water down there. So the chance that this brine in contact with expanding material will expand is nearly zero. So if somebody want to use the expansion materials, bring this freshwater, reservoir water, and test it in your lab. Will it really expand, or it's just a dream for you? So I didn't market. It's a nice thing. It's worth to evaluate. Good luck. Permeability and porosity, both are very important. After the years, you want to have your cement hard. You want to have impermeable. It will be acidized afterward. It will acidize in next month, next years. You want to have cement integrity still after a long time. So invest money in a more solid cement. Invest money to block all possible migration. Invest money into low water content fluids, low water content slurries. So they only add to your value over the years. This was a small test on acids. They put a cement in an acid, and it was only after 28 days, it was in this shape what you can see. But we're talking about 50 years, right? Geothermal well, 50 plus years. So imagine there will be no cement in a Christmas. So invest into this study. If needed, pay money. And the summary. The projects who are investing in the geothermal for power, you have to have a cost, you have to invest into cement, indeed. The project involved into the heat project, then you can really have a lot of cost saving. You just need to have some team evaluating what your project really needs. And if today cost of cementation between 3 to 5%, 7%, you can reduce it. You don't have to reduce it, you can buy quality. You will know what you buy. And again, same thing, invest now rather than fixing it tomorrow. It will be much more expensive. Thank you very much. Dankeschön.
Thank you very much. There is time for one short question. So I have a question. When you describe all what is happening with the cement, geothermal wells, sometimes people switch the injection well to the production well. What is in terms of cement? Is that a good idea?
Switching, if you do switch when the cementation is finished, because you do injectivity test and you may decide, okay, other way what is running better. Cementation is finished. If you do it most of the time, then you have to probably in advance put a cement which will be fit for both. Insulating, yes. Hard, yes. So if you don't know which one is good, if you do know which one is good, because it's a well, for example, they're drilling for batches, they're drilling for 5 wells, if you know exactly which direction will be flowing, of course you can sometimes forget about cement, you can even don't put any cement. Why you put cement? To have a well integrity. If well is dry, there is no formation of water above X meter. Why you have to cement? what for you protecting casing. If you know for sure that the zone there is no risk, you can even forget about cementation.
Okay, thank you very much.